and welcome along to part 2 of staff recruitment chats from Fiona. I'm really excited to let you know that I've got a special session coming up about recruitment and selection with a guest. Yes, a guest. So really excited for that, and I will let you know more about it once we've actually recorded it and got everything down and sort of know what we're doing with it. It's in sort of initial idea stages at the moment, but I'm really excited. So this topic today is why the person specification is actually the linchpin of good recruitment. And I think the person specification is wildly underrated as a part of the paperwork involved in good recruitment. So everybody knows that you need to have the job description, and so there are three. That was a mess. There are 3 documents that make up the sort of preamble paperwork for recruitment and selection. If you've done any recruitment, you will know this. If you've ever applied for a job, you will also know this, but you might not have given it a lot of thought. So the first thing is the advert, and there's probably a lot more that people could be doing with the advert than they think, and we'll talk more about that another time. There's the job description, so what are the tasks and roles and responsibilities involved in this post? So most people think that's really important, which makes complete sense. And then part 3 is the person specification, which often comes as part of the job description, but actually has a slightly different function. And that's what I want to talk about today. So the person specification is where you outline what you actually need this person to be able to do, what experience you want them to have, all of the things that you probably know. If you take your recruitment hat off and put on your applying for jobs hat, you will know that this is the key place that people go to when they're looking to get a new job, where they go and go, have I actually got all of the essential skills and experience, and have I got most of the desirable skills and experience? And that's where sometimes as recruiters or as recruiting line managers, if you don't do a good job there, you can get yourself really in knots because you will attract the wrong type of candidates for your role. And it's a waste of time for you in interviewing people and shortlisting, and it's a waste of time for the candidates who have, bless them, gone to loads of effort to write a really good job application for a job where you have not sufficiently described what you actually need from them. So my invitation to you is, if you have a job coming up that you need to advertise, be really careful and thoughtful about what you actually need from this person. And in putting the person specification together, if you're feeling a bit lost and not really sure where to turn in terms of how to describe what you need from this person, think about, like broad brush, you probably have a good idea. Think about what was good or bad about previous post holders and think, oh, it would have been amazing if they'd had experience of the blur thing, so I hadn't had to train them in how to do it. And you can also go to the role profiles for whatever the role grading scheme is at your institution. So a lot of places across higher education use HERA, and it will give you the descriptor of 14 different skills, behaviours and attributes, I suppose, of people at the grade, at each of the grades actually, for sort of administrative, clerical and managerial roles up until you reach senior management positions. And yeah, it just outlines them there about what sort of communication skills this person needs, what sort of networking and liaison skills, what sort of I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but there are 14 different categories, and then for each role they will go into specific bullet point detail. I'm not suggesting that you copy and paste that into your person specification, but just use it as inspiration for the types of things that you need candidates to have. And a prime example of where this can go wrong is in the discussion with my husband that was the whole inspiration for this little series, where he said, well, I really need whoever gets the job to be able to lead investigation interviews. Makes sense, right? He works in an investigations team. But it wasn't stated as an essential skill in the person specification. Therefore, he can't really recruit on that basis because you haven't actually asked for that skill. So you can't really disqualify people from shortlisting for not having that skill, even though you know that some of the people who are applying do, or should have it if it's an internal candidate. So that's a really clear example, right? You need to make sure that the things that you actually need this person to be able to do, the skills and experience you need them to have, are in the person specification. I also really encourage you to think carefully about what things are just in there because they were in there the last time this role was advertised. For example, think very carefully about whether this role really needs to have degree experience, because a lot of jobs in universities advertise that one of the role requirements is educated to degree level. And I would argue for most administrative and clerical roles, actually having a degree doesn't necessarily help you to be good at doing the job. And some of the best administrators in universities that I have ever met don't have a degree. They just have tons of really good experience. And so just be thoughtful about what things are actually really required. I think that's my rantings about the person specification, so I shall leave it here. Hope that's been helpful. If you have questions, let me know. If you have topics you would like me to cover, let me know. And hit the thumbs up button if you thought this was helpful. And if you want to be notified about when the rest of this little series is released, especially the one with my special guest, please go to my profile page and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified each time I release new content. With that, I'm going to stop chatting. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.